Confidential Affair. By Ashenafi. Int. Coffee shop, morning. It is a unique Denny's type of coffee shop, about 10 a.m. in the morning. There are a healthy number of people, enjoying their breakfasts. Three of them are Tyler, 28, and Tommy, 27, and Frankie, 29, they are in the middle of conversation. Pan 2, entrance. A handsome man Tristan, 25, steps into the coffee shop, walks toward the boys. Tristan comes behind Tyler and Frankie who are sitting in front of Tommy, taps Frankie on the shoulder greeting. Tristan, what's up? Frankie, what's up? Tristan sits next to Tommy. Tommy punches Tristan on the shoulder, greeting. Tommy, what's up, man? Tristan, nothing much. Tyler, how you doing? Tristan, cool. Tristan grabs the menu. Tristan, did you guys order? Before they respond, out of nowhere comes a very beautiful girl named Annie, 18, places 3 omelets in front of Tyler, Frankie, and Tommy, glances at Tristan in seduction. Tristan doesn't know what just hits him. Tristan, instinctively hi. Annie, with beautiful smile hi. There is a pause. He gazes at her eyes softly. Frankie and Tommy grab forks and knives. Tyler looks at Tristan who is looking at Annie as if he just found the missing soul of his heart. Annie, how may I take your order? Tristan looks at the menu. Tristan, pancakes. He gives her the menu. Annie, anything to drink with that? Tristan, Coke. Annie, I'll be with you in a minute. She gives him a gorgeous smile, and walks away. Tyler, to Tristan, isn't she the most beautiful girl you have ever seen in your life, or what? Tommy, she is one of those girls that God made from vanilla and strawberry and breathed light on her soul. Tyler, no doubt about that. But leave her to Tristan. And let him tell us about the score. To Tristan. Did you bring the map? Tristan takes out a piece of paper that has a map drawn by hand, gives Tyler the paper. Tyler takes the map and looks at it carefully. Tyler, what about the alarm, what are you going to do about it? Tyler gives Tristan the map back. Tristan, I'll take care of it before we walk in. Tyler, what do you mean you'll take care of it before we walk in? We don't want to draw too much attention, do we? Tristan, it's all computer system. I'll turn it off 10 minutes right before we enter the bank. Annie returns to the table with a glass of Coke, places it in front of Tristan, and gives him a soft beautiful smile. Annie, I'll be back in few minutes with your pancakes. Tristan, take your time. She walks toward the direction of the camera, blacking the screen. Int. Coffee shop, day. Tristan has already gotten his meal. But he's checking out Annie who is busy taking order from another table. The rest of them are done eating. They are in the middle of conversing. Tommy, do you know Vincent? Tyler, teabag. Tommy, yes, Big V. Tyler, what about him? Tommy, we used to go to clubs together. And he always wears these muscle shirts, showing his biceps, but every time he gets to the door, the guards wouldn't let him in. You know, dress code, bullshit. Tristan continues to look at Annie as she takes orders. Tommy, he then disappeared for 2 years, came back, and opened one of the biggest club here in Miami Beach where you walk in naked. No fucking dress codes. It is the hottest place in town. It must have cost him fortune to build it. Tyler, what did he do, rob a bank? Tommy, no man, he went to New York, start boxing, met this sexy supermodel, and fucked her for 7 straight days without leaving his hotel. They then got married, came to Miami, and opened a club called Instinct. All kinds of movie stars come there to party. Tristan, softly excuse me. Tristan gets up, and heads to the restroom. Int. Coffee shop, single restroom, day. Tristan enters the restroom, locks the door, and looks at himself on the mirror. Tristan, talking to the image in the mirror. Hi, my name is Tristan. You are the most beautiful girl I have ever seen in my life. Do you want to go out tonight, maybe a movie and dinner? I will pick you up at 6:30 p.m. He takes out a pen, and checks his pocket for a piece of paper. All he can find is the map. Tristan, using the mirror, writes the following on the corner of the map. Believe me, if all the stars in the skies fall into the ocean and give birth to myrtle, daisies, and butterflies, they wouldn't match up to your beauty, or capture the magic in your eyes. The most beautiful girl that love made soul from a red rose, gladiolus, morning stardust, and twilight. You anointed my quintessence with passion at first sight. He draws a heart, and pierce it with arrow. Int. Cottage, restaurant, night. It's a seductive blues house. Tristan and Annie sit at the table with glasses of wines and seafood. On the stage, Lucy, 29, sings Someone Like You by Adele. Close up, Tristan and Annie. Annie, what do you do? Tristan, I work at this video game company called NEC. Basically, I test new games. Annie, have you ever been arrested before? Tristan, not arrested, sentenced to do a comment service. Annie, for what? Tristan, I once stole a sunglass that was supposed to be worth $125 in high school, after I watched Keanu Reeves in Matrix. The judge gave me 78 hours community service and $269 fine. Annie, you're not kidding, are you? Tristan, no, I am not. That little incident cost me quite a fortune. I ended up paying $1,824. Annie, how come? Tristan, I moved to Los Angeles for a while. You know, to see my aunt who is an actress. When I returned a year later, they fined me $824 for disregarding the community service and not appearing at the court, bench warrant and all. I hired a lawyer for $1,000 to take care of it. She made it disappear like a magician. There is a pause. Annie gazes at his eyes in marvel. Annie, that is one expensive sunglass if you ask me. Tristan, you have no idea. They smile softly. On the soundtrack, they continue to talk without a sound. EXT Museum, movie, night. Tristan and Annie, who are sitting on the water fountain with glasses of wines, watch movie The Matrix at University of Miami Museum. Tristan, I feel like I've known you my whole life. Annie, how's that? Tristan, I don't know. I feel it somewhere in my ribs. Humorously. It could be from another life. Annie, smiling, it could be. Tristan, what do you study? Annie, archaeology. Tristan, what archaeology? Annie, I want to be Egyptologist, you know, study the ancient Egyptian history, language, mummy, art, and the pyramids. And find out how civilization started. Or rather write a book about progress of Egyptian culture, ethos, and connection with the cosmos, and how civilization might be brought by aliens from outer space. Tristan, that's nice. I like ancient Egyptian history. Cleopatra and Mark Antony are not aliens, are they? She smiles softly. Annie, I doubt it. Try stab, it is a joke. Annie, I know. There is a pause. They gaze at each other's eye without a sound as if they wanted to kiss French. On the soundtrack, music plays melodiously. EXT Miami Beach, night. Mickey and Annie take a walk down the shore. Annie then. Annie, what do you like? Tristan, I like traveling, adventure, movies like There Is Something About Annie and The Matrix. You know, before that sunglass incident. She smiles softly and hits him on the arm playfully. Annie, I can't still believe that you had to go to the court for a sunglass. They should have let you go with a warning. Tristan, I know, but you're not really a thief till you get caught. They stand lips to lips. Annie, what do you mean? Tristan, do you trust your instinct over your reason? Before she answers, they kiss intimately. Int. Tristan's house, bedroom, night. Tristan and Annie make love surrounded by candles. It's beautiful, steamy, seductive, and passionate. We stay with them with series cuts. Int. Bank, morning. Tyler and Tristan, wearing black Arabic women outfit, enter the bank. Two guards George and Alex check them out with suspicious. Then Tommy, wearing the same outfit, walks into the bank and approaches George. Tommy, who can help me opening a new bank account? At the other end, Tyler takes out an automatic. Tristan a sawed-off shotgun. Tyler, everybody, this is a robbery. George flinches. Tommy punches him straight in the jaw, knocks him out cold. At the same time, out of nowhere appears a revolver on Tommy's hand. He points it between Alex's eyes. Tommy, don't fucking move. Tyler points his gun at everybody. Tyler, get down on the fucking floor and puts your hand behind your heads before I blow your fucking brain off. Tommy, to Alex, get down. Alex gets down on the floor, holding his head. Tommy takes Alex's gun, turns to George, and takes his gun as well. At the other side, Tristan comes to the manager Kevin Washington, 53. Tristan, Mr. Washington. Tristan pulls Mr. Washington from where he lies at. Tristan puts his gun on his cheek. Tristan, taking him toward the gate, give us the code. We will be out of here without hurting anyone. Mr. Washington, we update the code every hour direct from the main headquarters. No code will be assigned till 10 a.m. without confirmation. Tristan, cuts him short, I believe you. He brings him to the gate. Behind the gate, we see Mrs. Livingston, who is responsible letting people beyond that point. She is hiding behind her chair. Tristan, just tell this nice lady. Mrs. Livingston to buzz us in, you have nothing to worry about, the bank is insured. Tyler quickly comes to Mr. Washington, grabs his sleeves, pushes him against the gate, and puts his automatic against his nose. Tyler, tell that bitch to open the fucking gate, or I let this bitch the gun go nut in your nose. I personally don't give a fuck if this bank is insured or not, open the fucking gate now. Mr. Washington is figuratively gone but returns on time to give Mrs. Livingston a sign, nodding to open the gate. Mrs. Livingston opens the gate with a touch of a button. Tyler throws Mr. Washington on the floor. Tyler, get back on the floor. Room section 2, day. Tristan and Tyler walk through the gate. Tristan comes to the vault, takes out automatic screwdriver, and applies it to the lock. At the same time, Tyler enforces the rest of the employee, who work inside, to join others at the main lobby, including Mrs. Livingston. Tyler, move. Main lobby, day. Tyler drives them into the main lobby where the others lie on the floor. Tyler, stay the fuck down. Back to, vault, Tristan. He opens the cup, cuts the wires, and takes out a hacking device that runs a 9-digits code, wires it, and runs the code. The numbers move with crazy speed, get the code. Green light comes. Tristan then opens the huge vault with a spin. Vault, day. We see stacks of money that is worth millions of dollars. Tristan walks in and shoots 3 camera surveillances with his silencer, takes off his Arabic cloth, stands in tuxedo and a black sunglass. He grabs the money, places the money in the outfit using it as a bag. He fills the bag with money, and walks toward the main lobby. Main lobby, day. Tyler looks at Tristan, who is coming to the main lobby carrying the money. Tyler turns to Tommy. Tyler, to Tommy 15 seconds. Tommy nods and heads to the vault. Tristan takes Tommy's place. Tyler, to the people, let's keep it quiet guys, we're almost done. Vault, day. Tommy stands wearing tuxedo and places the money in the outfit like Tristan. Back to, Tyler and Tristan. They continue to watch the customers. Then, Tommy comes out, carrying a bag of money. Tyler looks at him, gives Tristan a nod, keep it under control, and walks toward the vault. At the direction of the camera. EXT gateway car, day. Frankie is behind a gateway car. Tyler, carrying a bag of money, steps out the bank and heads toward the getaway car. Tristan and Tommy follow him. Tristan is ahead of Tommy. Then on the screen an unknown sniper target appear. An unidentified sniper P.O.V. Tristan is walking toward the gateway car. Tyler comes to the car. Int. Gateway car, day. Tyler gets in the back seat. EXT gateway car, bank, day. Tristan and Tommy continue to walk toward the car. The sniper's POV. Tristan is about to get in the getaway car. The sniper's POV. The sniper changes the target from Tristan to Tommy and pulls the trigger. A bullet comes straight at the direction of Tommy and hits him in the head. Tommy falls down dead. Tristan drops his bag, and tries to help Tommy who is lying on the ground lifeless. EXT/int. Getaway car, day. Frankie keeps his head under the wheel, hiding. Tyler looks at Tristan who is aiding Tommy in vain. Tyler, to Tristan, get in the car quick. Tristan grabs both bags, his bag and Tommy's bag, puts them on the back seat, and gets in the passenger seat. The doors close. The car drives away. Int. Getaway car, moving, day. Frankie, Tristan, and Tyler are silent. They continue to drive without a word. They don't know what is going on. EXT getaway car, moving, day. A medium shot of the getaway car moving at the direction of the camera. EXT getaway car, moving, day. The car comes to the corner of the street and begins to pull behind a Toyota. EXT/int. Getaway car, day. Frankie makes a full stop and turns off the ignition. Then a gun appears behind Frankie's head. A bullet exits from the barrel and hits Frankie in the head. Frankie's brain gets splattered. Tyler shoots him. Tristan turns his face from the splatter. Tyler reaches forward, opens Frankie's shirt, and pulls out a wire. Tyler, your friend back there was a police informant. He's an FBI undercover. I'm sorry, Tristan. It is business. It's not personal. I have to leave you with one of the bags. Have fun. Tyler grabs 2 bags and steps out the car. Right away, a black Lexus pulls next to him. Tyler gets in the car. The Lexus drives away. Int. Getaway car, day. Tristan looks at Frankie who is dead, turns around, and looks at the money. He then takes out a cigarette and lights it. Close up, Tristan. He takes a drag and breathes out the smoke at the screen. Fade to black. Confidential affair. Fade in. Superimpose, 5 years later. Int. Studio 24, Club, day. It's an equivalent of Studio 54 in New York City. We see an attractive woman, Detective Rita Diaz, 30, Miami Police Department. She is in the middle of buying cocaine from Lorenzo, 35, the owner of the club, who sits on the sofa with an attractive girl named Mandy Hader, 23. 2 of his bodyguards, Juan Jeter, 29, and Scott Kingsley, 34, stand, checking Rita carelessly. Next to Rita, we see Ricky Rod, 26, her connection to Lorenzo, sitting with weed. Justin Timberlake's My Love plays from a CD. Rita is undercover police officer. Lorenzo, I have a feeling she's a cop. I've seen her somewhere. Ricky, she is not a cop. I ate her out this morning. She is as clean as the snow at the North Pole. Lorenzo, I can smell her cunt. She is a cop. Rita, I didn't come here to fool around, you want to do this or what? Rita grabs her bag filled with money, puts it in front of Lorenzo. He looks straight through her eyes for seconds, and then gives Mandy a sign to bring the drug. Mandy gets up, and walks behind the curtain, leaving Lorenzo and Rita on the screen. Lorenzo looks at Rita arrogantly. Lorenzo, are you into swinging? Rita, what is that? Lorenzo, it is sex. Why don't we all get together tonight, do some serious fucking, you, me, her, and him, foursome. Ricky, that would be awesome, man. Lorenzo, I'm talking to her, kid. You will just record us. There is a pause. Lorenzo looks at her. She takes out her cigarette. Lorenzo takes out a lighter from his pocket, lights her cigarette. She takes a drag and breathes the smoke at his face. Rita, how much? Lorenzo, how much what? Rita, will you pay me one-on-one? Lorenzo, I don't pay for pussy. What the fuck do you think I am? I get 100 pussies a week. I was just doing you a favor. You look like you haven't fucked good for years. Rita, that's what you think. They say, look can be deceiving. Mandy returns with a bag that is loaded with cocaine, puts it on the table, and sits next to Lorenzo. Lorenzo opens the bag, takes out a bag of cocaine, and gives Rita the blow. She puts down her cigarette on the table, takes out a knife from her pocket, and cuts the bag. She takes a small amount of cocaine with her pink finger and tastes it to see if it's good. It's good. Lorenzo, so, what is it, are you down for threesome or what? Rita, it'll cost your life. Lorenzo, I'll hit it below the pussy. She grabs her cigarette, takes a drag, crashes her cigarette, and gets up. Rita, I'm a cop. Close up, Rita. Out of nowhere, she takes out two guns, and points between his eyes. Rita, don't fucking move. Juan and Scott quickly draw their automatic at her. She shoots them between their eyes. They go down dead. In the meantime. Club entrance. Rita's team Miami PD breaks the door. Ted, Kenny, Matt, Jessica, and a couple of police officers enter, drawing their guns. Rita points her guns at Lorenzo. Rita, hit this motherfucker below the ass. You're under arrest. Rita turns her gun at Ricky, and Mandy. Rita, get down on the floor now. Ted and Jessica go after the bartenders. Kenny and Matt come to Lorenzo, drawing their guns with two officers. Kenny, put your hands behind your head. You all are under arrest. Kenny comes to arrest Lorenzo. The two officers said to cuff Mandy and Rick. Matt walks to Rita. Matt, you're okay? Rita, I'm fine. Lorenzo looks at Rita as Kenny cuffs him. Lorenzo, you had better get your lawyers. You're wasting taxpayers' money. I've connection you wouldn't know about it. I will be a free man tomorrow and claim that butthole, bitch. Rita ignores him and heads toward the exit. Matt walks up to her. Close up, Matt and Rita. Rita doesn't look very happy. Matt, what's it? Rita, he's nothing but a middleman. We have to go after the source. Pedro and Salas. They continue to walk toward the exit. In the background, we see Miami PD collecting incriminating evidence. EXT Studio 24, day. Rita and Matt walk out of Studio 24. Rita sees Sergeant Seth Phoenix, 36, ahead of SWAT with his troops that consist of 7 muscular men, standing next to their 2 SWAT vans. Rita, doesn't like it. What's he doing here? Matt, the Capitol sent extra force in case things would go wrong. Seth walks up to her. Seth, how you doing, Miss Heartbreak? Rita, ignoring him, and walking toward her red convertible Corvette. I feel a little bit corrupted. Seth, it's okay. Bad mood is the #1 cause for services cancer and early menopause. She gives him a look that says bitch and walks by him. Seth, take good care of yourself. Rita, fuck you too. Rita and Matt continue to walk toward Rita's car. Rita, to Matt, I told John the first got everything under control, it was supposed to be my operation. I didn't want to draw other drug dealers' attention, including Sergeant Seth Phoenix. Matt, to Rita, forget him. He's not worth it. Close up, Rita and Matt. They walk toward the direction of the camera. Rita, why do I feel like CIA, FBI, DEA, even Miami PD, they're all behind Pedro? Matt, we can't just go after him directly. He's the governor of Florida. They stop by the Corvette. And besides, he's the process of becoming the next president of Cuba with the aid of CIA, you know, to use Cuba as a jumping point. Rita, how are we going to stop him? Matt, the question isn't how we going to stop him, but how we going to stop CIA. Rita, what about Salas? Does he tie with CIA? Matt, most likely. He just destroyed 2 of the most dangerous drug lords Hernandez and Rodriguez cartels in Mexico City with the help of Mexico government and CIA. Let's go out. We can talk about it over dinner. Rita, I can't. I have to go to the bureau and check out something. As if he reads her mind. Matt, come on Rita, it's been 5 years, let the bureau handle it. You should just focus on being the best narc the city of Miami has ever seen. Rita, sure. Opens her car, but I've to go to home and take a shower. Rita gets in her convertible. EXT/int. Rita's convertible, day. Rita, see you. Matt, see you. Close up, Rita. She starts her car and drives at the direction of the camera. Int. Miami FBI headquarters, evening. Rita is behind a computer, accessing information with Agent Michelle Anderson, who is standing next to Rita. It's Michelle's desk. Rita checks Tristan's latest criminal record. It comes out nothing. Michelle, I checked his record few days ago. Nothing came out. I'll inform you when I hear the latest on him. Rita checks his old record. A young Tristan mugshot comes on the screen. She studies his face carefully. Close up, the picture of young Tristan on the computer. He has a tiny black mark between his eyes. Int. Roxy Strip Club, night. On the stage, a gorgeous girl Lean Rossetti, 23, dances exotic with type O negative Christian woman. There are quite few rich folks and young studs in the club sitting at the bar and enjoying the show. Some are accompanied by strippers. Others are busy looking at Lean Rossetti as if she were building mystery in their hearts. Tyler sits at the bar with a glass of scotch, courting a seductive stripper named Rachel, 23. We can't hear what they say due to the music on the sound system. He takes a sip, places $50 on her G-strings. She gives him a kiss on the cheek, and walks away. Pan 2, at the far end of the stage, we see a man named Alfred Whitman, 30, sitting at a table with a glass of vodka alone. Alfred watches Lean. Close up, Lean. She continues to strip, spinning on the pole. We stay with her for few seconds. Int. Roxy Strip Club, night. Annie, who looks more exotic than the last time we saw her, comes to the stage, and begins to dance exotic with Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on. Everybody stops what they are doing and begins to watch her as if they are looking at the most beautiful living soul that God has ever created. Then out of nowhere comes a mysterious man wearing a sunglass. The man looks at Annie, walks to the bar, sits at the counter, and continues to watch Annie without taking his eyes off her. Behind the bar, a sexy bartender, Marissa Jones, 26, approaches the man. Marissa, what do you want to drink? Mysterious man, Scotch, Black Label. Marissa, sure thing. Marissa turns to get him his drink. Close up, mysterious man. If we see him carefully, we'll get the idea the man is actually Tristan with a tiny black mark between his eyes. But he has mustaches, fake blonde hair, and mild facial hair, and looks totally a different person with a minor facial surgery. Close up, Annie. She looks at Tristan, doesn't know who he is but something about him grabs her imagination. Tristan takes a glance, and sees Tyler at the other end. Tyler looks at him as well. Their eyes meet. They both turn their attention back to Annie. Close up, Annie. She looks at Tristan while dancing exotic as if she knew him. Tristan continues to watch her. Marissa comes with his drink and places the drink in front of him. Marissa, $10. Tristan takes out $50 and gives her the money. Tristan, keep the change. Marissa, thanks. Marissa walks away. Tristan grabs his drink, takes a sip, and continues to watch Annie, who is dancing like a goddess. A medium shot of Annie dancing on the stage. We stay with her for a while. Annie does exotic moves, turns her eyes, and looks at the seat where Tristan was sitting. But Tristan is gone. Annie continues to dance. Int. Roxy Strip Club, dressing room, night. Annie sits at the mirror, checking her makeup while talking to Lean, who is sitting in front of the mirror and smoking weed. On the background, Baby Love by the Supremes plays melodiously from a CD. Annie, I'm quitting at the end of this month. I have to find better things to do with my life. Lean, you always say that. But when it's time to do it, you would say, I need the money. I will do it for a little while. Annie, this time I mean it. I've saved enough money. I'm moving to California. Lean, where in California? Hollywood. Annie, maybe Hollywood, or San Francisco. I didn't make up my mind yet. Lean, what about your daughter? Annie, I'm taking her with me. Lean passes the weed to Annie. Annie shakes her head, no. Thanks. In the meantimes, out of nowhere comes a gorgeous girl, Sydney Parker, 24, with dozen of rose, and gives Annie the rose. Lean, roses. Sydney, it's from her secret admirer. No name no address. To Annie. I'll be back. You have something with Carlos. Annie takes the flowers, puts them on the table, takes a single rose, and puts the rest of them in the trash as Sydney walks away. Lean, do you still tell her that her father is Superman, saving the universe from bad guys? Annie, I'll tell her the truth when the time is right. Lean, did he ever write you a letter or send you a postcard? Suddenly, Annie got saddened. She shakes her head no. There is a silent moment. Lean, are you still in love with him? Annie, I won't love again. Tears fill her eyes. Then Sydney returns with a jeweler box wrapped with a gift paper, and gives Annie the case. Sydney, from Anonymous. Annie takes the box. Sydney, are you crying? Annie, no, I'm not crying. I got dirt in my eyes. Annie removes the cover and opens the box. It's a diamond necklace. Sydney and Lean wow. Annie isn't too impressed. But it's enough to put two sparkling smiles in her eyes. Sydney, is that real diamond? Lean, I know how to tell apart. Let me see it. Annie gives Lean the necklace. Lean takes the necklace, breathes hot air on the necklace, and polishes it with her shirt. It sparkles like the stars in the sky. Lean, it's real. She gives her the necklace back. Sydney, put it on. Annie, not now. I have to go. Sydney, give me the necklace. I'll put it for you. Sydney takes the necklace from Annie's hand and places it around Annie's neck. Lean, it's pretty. Sydney, it's alluring. Annie still isn't impressed. But the necklace brings out her inner beauty into the foreground of the screen like summer morning. Annie looks at her image in the mirror and takes a deep breath. EXT Roxy Strip Club, street parking, night. Annie walks toward her car. She looks confident from outside, but we don't know if she heard all kind of voices inside. Annie then hears something outside, turns her eyes and looks around. There is nobody in the area. It's kind of scary. Anybody can come and harm her easily. Close up, Annie. She begins to walk faster. Annie then comes to her convertible, 2010 red Jaguar XK convertible, that is parked next to the sidewalk. EXT/int. Annie's convertible, night. Annie opens the door, gets behind the wheel, closes the door, and starts her car. She plays a CD Come See About Me, by the Supremes and Diana Rose mixed with dance beat. Annie pulls out and drives down the street. EXT/int. Annie's convertible, moving, night. Annie continues to drive singing Come See About Me with Diana Ross. She then takes out a tiny gun, Ruger LCP, 380, from her thigh holster, and puts it in her compact glove. EXT Annie's convertible, moving, night. An established shot of Annie's car with Annie moving at the direction of the camera. Int. Annie's apartment, night. Annie opens the door from outside, enters the living room, and comes straight to her daughter room. Matilda's room, night. Matilda, a 4-year-old girl, is sleeping in beauty while cuddling a teddy bear. Annie looks at her daughter. Living room, night. Annie walks to the living room, sees the babysitter, Jenny, 16, as she exits from the bathroom. The music falls in the background and plays softly. Annie, hi. Jenny, hi. Annie, I'm sorry. I'm late. I had to buy a cold medicine for Matilda. Jenny, don't sweat it. Walking toward the exit. She's been sleeping since 8 o'clock. I hope she won't bother you, waking up in the middle of the night and asking for her dolls. Annie, it's okay. She won't bother me. Jenny comes to the door and opens the door. Jenny, good night. Annie, good night. Jenny exits and closes the door. Annie locks the door. On the soundtrack, music plays melodiously. Annie begins to dance while singing with the Supremes Come See About Me. She takes her clothes off one at a time, dancing seductively, and walks to the bathroom. Bathroom, night. Annie comes to the bathtub singing and dancing, begins to fill the bathtub with water and soap. Bathtub, later. We see a glass of wine and a single red rose. On the soundtrack, music plays melodiously. Annie sits in the bathtub surrounded by candles, touching herself in sexuality. She then takes a deep breath as she reaches orgasm. EXTFT Lauderdale Convention Center, day. Close up, Governor Pedro Martinez. A charismatic man, Governor Pedro Martinez, 35, gives a speech on global warming outside FT Lauderdale Solar Energy Convention. Pedro, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here, to talk about a recent warming of the Earth, which we call global warming. We see a crowd that consists of 200 people, police officers, personal bodyguards, and Secret Service men and media's personalities. Pedro, this climate change is one of the most omnipresent hazard that we've ever faced in the history of humankind. It's a crime against human race wagged by our ignorance of the environment. We'll continue to fight it with a sold anti-global warming agenda. EXT convertible car, Hilton Hotel, day. A man named Carlos, 32, is behind the wheel in his Ford convertible. We don't know who he is now. Sydney sits in the passenger seat smoking cigarette. Annie and Lean are in the back seat. Carlos, to Annie and Lean room 1016 take the escalator. You will find 5 guys waiting for you. Give them the cocaine. They will give you the money. Take the money without counting, and use the same escalator. Come to the first exit. I'll wait for you at the parking garage. Sydney, after this we go to Cancun, and have the time of our lives. She breathes the cigarette at Carlos' face. Carlos, give me that. Takes the cigarette from her hand. How many times did I tell you not to smoke this shit? It will kill you. Sydney, whatever. You are not my father. Carlos, I am your boyfriend. I care about your health. He throws it away. Lean looks at him with suspicion. Lean, are you going to kill us like the Colombians if we want to walk away from this? It's a one-time deal. We don't want to do it again. Carlos, coolly, first of all, I'm not Colombian. I'm a Cuban American. I was born and grew up in Miami. I don't touch kids and women. You might find this dumbfounding. Not only am I a businessman but also a humanitarian. I'm doing this to build hospital and school in Cuba, you know, hoping someday I will be a president, and resolve this bad blood between USA and Cuba, is all. He sounds so convincing, how he said it. Annie believes him right away. But Lean is not sure. Lean, how do we know if the cops aren't there waiting for us? Carlos, what fucking cops? This is business. Lean, undercover. Carlos, you watch a lot of movies. Nobody puts a gun on your fucking head. If you want to do it, just do it. Or open the fucking door and walk away. Lean, come on, Annie. Let's get the fuck out of here. Something stinks. Lean takes Annie's hand and opens the door. When she is about to walk away, saying, fuck it. Carlos, leave her alone. I know she needs the money to raise her daughter. Lean closes the door back. Lean, what's that supposed to mean? Carlos, she gave me her word. I paid her in advance. Annie, to Lean, it's okay. I'll do it myself. You can stay in the car. On the soundtrack, music plays melodiously. Int. Warehouse, day. It's a big warehouse. We see 3 large animal cages with 3 black panthers. Pedro stands with Eddie Rodriguez, 37, his right-hand man, watching his goons retrieving heroin and cocaine that are hidden in the floor of the cages as well as inside the bars after they remove the panthers into 3 different cages. They must have used the panthers to avoid drug-sniffing dogs. Int. Hilton Hotel, garage day. Annie, wearing a sunglass and a fake pink hair and carrying a school bag, comes to the elevator, and presses a button on the wall. The elevator's doors open right away. Int. Elevator, day. Annie gets in the elevator, puts the bag on the floor, and presses a button, floor 10. As the elevator doors are about to close, out of nowhere comes Tristan, places his hand between the doors. The doors open. Tristan gets inside the elevator and stands next to Annie. The elevator's doors close. The elevator begins to move up. Tristan gets closer to Annie. Tristan, remain calm. Your life is in great danger. A couple of guys, all carrying automatic weapons, will enter this elevator at the lobby. If they find out that you're carrying cocaine in that bag, they'll kill you. The elevator's doors open at the lobby. Tristan quickly grabs Annie and begins to kiss her. Simultaneously, Seth and 5 men dressed in SWAT and armed with heavy artilleries and machine guns walk into the elevator. Annie then sees Seth's cold eyes as he enters the elevator. She throws her arms around Tristan. They kiss intimately. Seth looks at the button on 10, doesn't bother to touch it. The elevator doors close and continue to move up to floor 10. Close up, Tristan and Annie. They continue to kiss as if they knew each other their whole lives. Close up, Seth. He looks at them. Seth then turns his eyes and looks at Annie's bag. He suspects something strange for a second but might have told himself that he had to focus on what's in stake. He ignores them. The elevator's doors then open at 10. 5 SWATs get out of the elevator and stand at the corridor, except Seth. Tristan and Annie continue to kiss as if they were the only two souls that had ever existed. Seth waits for Tristan and Annie to break it off. They break the kiss. Tristan takes her hand. Tristan, grab your bag, babe. Annie grabs the bag. They step out of the elevator, holding waist to waist like a real couple. Hilton Hotel, hallway. Seth follows Tristan and Annie and stops at the corridor with his troops, watching Tristan and Annie. Close up, Annie and Tristan. They continue to walk down the hallway, passing one room after another. Tristan, softly, which room are you heading? Annie, softly, 1018. They pass, 1010. 1014, 1015. Seth continues to watch them. He then gives his troops a nod. The troops put gas masks. Annie and Tristan continue to walk down the hallway. Tristan, softly, remain calm. They come to 1018. Tristan pulls her hand, takes out his card, turns to 1017, inserts it, and opens the door. They get in and close the door. Seth gives his boys a sign to follow the plan. We'll take care of them later. Int. Hilton Hotel, room 1017, day. Close up, Annie and Tristan. They stand by the door, listening. Annie, is this your room? Tristan, no, I stay one floor above. I got a key that I programmed. It opens every floor in this hotel. I know the guy that you were with, Carlos. I have seen him here a couple of times. Annie, who are those guys? Tristan, drug dealers and corrupted cops. Tristan looks through the tiny hole. Int. Hilton Hotel, floor 10, hallway, day. Seth's troops come to room 1018 with a battering ram and stands both side of the door. Int. Hilton Hotel, room 1018, day. We see an Hispanic man named Ramirez sitting at the coffee table between 2 beautiful Latino girls. They are watching TV. 4 other Hispanic men sit at the dinner table, playing card, eating chips, and drinking whiskeys. Int. Hilton Hotel, floor 10, hallway, day. Seth's troops wait for a go-ahead sign. Seth gives them the order with a nod. A muscular man Dante break the door with the battering ram. Kurt, Andrew, and John throw 2 tear gases inside the room. Int. Room 1018, day. The room is covered with smoke. The SWAT team get inside and begin to kill whoever happens to be there ruthlessly. At the same time, once they start killing, we don't know who is who. A masked SWAT fires, killing 2 girls and a man who were sitting at the sofa. Another SWAT fires and kills a man who is coming from the kitchen. The 4 men, who were playing cards, get up with their guns. But they get massacred by the SWAT before they fire a single shot. Int. Hilton Hotel, room 1017, day. Tristan takes Annie's arm. Tristan, come on. They walk toward the porch. EXT room 1017, porch, day. Tristan and Annie come to the porch. Annie, I must get back to the car. They'll hurt my daughter. Tristan, okay. He walks toward the light frame wall and looks for an escape plan. Int. Hilton Hotel, room 1018, day. It is foggy. The killing continues. A man comes out of the bathroom, coughing. He gets blown away by a masked SWAT. A girl comes naked from one of the bedroom. She got shot by another masked SWAT at the hallway. Bedroom. We see another naked girl and a man named Roberto, who is in charge of buying and selling the drug. He puts his shirt on, pushes the girls away, and grabs his gun from the bed. Room 1018, hallway. The masked SWAT throws a tear gas into the bedroom where Roberto is at. Bedroom. The bedroom covers with tear gas. Roberto fires at the door in confusion. The masked SWAT enters and shoots both. EXT Hilton Hotel, room 1017, porch. We are back to Tristan and Annie. Tristan, using blankets as a rope on the light frame wall, helps Annie to get to the lower floor at room 917, 1 floor below. Annie gets to the porch at room 917 safely. Tristan takes the blankets, gets over the light frame wall, comes down, and joins Annie. Tristan takes her arm. Tristan, come on. Tristan opens the glass door. They enter the room. Int. Hilton Hotel, room 1017, door. A medium shot of the door. Then. Seth's men break the door open with a battering ram from outside and walk in, drawing their guns. The room is empty. They get in and move forward, searching. Seth then steps in and walks toward the direction of the camera. Int. Hilton Hotel, 9th-floor corridor, elevator. Tristan, who is holding the bag, and Annie come to the elevator. He presses the elevator button. Tristan, we might have to split. You take the elevator. I'll take the stair to my room, 2 floors above, grab my passport and meet you at the club tonight. He presses the elevator again. The elevator opens in ease. He gives her the bag. Annie takes the bag. Tristan, see you. Annie, who are you? Tristan, I'm Chris. The elevator's doors begin to close. He stops it. Tristan, softly stay away from trouble. He kisses her on the cheek. Annie, bye. Tristan, take care. She gets inside the elevator. The elevator doors close. We stay with Annie in the elevator. EXT Hilton Hotel, room 1017, porch, day. Seth comes into the porch and stands at the light frame wall. He sees the blanket that Tristan and Annie used to escape. Close up, Seth. He looks at the beach, at the direction of the camera, takes out a cigarette, and smokes it. EXT Hilton Hotel, open garage, Carlos's car, day. Carlos is in the middle of story. Sydney and Lean listen to the story while smoking weed. Carlos, he missed that penalty kick at the last minute. They could have won the game in regulation if he had scored it. But they went to extra minutes and lost the game. Then the next day, Caesar came into our house and shot my father in the head while my mother, my sister, and I were watching. I waited for 8 years, plotting my revenge. One night, for my 16th birthday, I came to his mansion, burned down his house, and shot him in the face. Sydney, is that a true story? Carlos, no, it's not. I just made it up to entertain you. Out of nowhere appears Annie and comes to the car. Carlos looks at her surprised. Close up, Annie. She comes to the car, opens the door, and gets in the back seat. Carlos, what happened? She gives him the bag. Annie, cops are everywhere, just drive me home. Carlos gives Sydney the bag, starts the car, and drives away. Close up, Annie. She is silent. They all are silent. Annie turns her eyes and looks at Lean, who is puffing weed. Lean passes the joint to Annie with style. Annie takes the weed and has a puff. Int. Martinez's restaurant and club, night. On the stage, Sabrina sings Celia Cruz Las Campancara de Belé. We see people dancing salsa on the dance floor. Pedro and a beautiful reporter named Diana Lopez, 29, sit at a table, conversing while drinking glasses of wines at his brother 5 Stars restaurant and club. Pedro, I came to Florida at the age of 9 with 125,000 Cubans, my mother and brother. I saw Miami, the buildings, the cars, the road. I know one day I'll go back to my country and change Cuba forever. Diana, there is a rumor that you are the head of the Martinez cartel, a criminal organization that controls drug trafficking operations with your brother Desi Martinez, is it true? Pedro, it's not true. Neither I nor my brother know anything about drug trafficking. Diana, do you have anything to say for those who think that you're a major drug lord? Pedro, everybody is entitled of his or her opinion. The bottom line is that we have to focus on the future of Cuba, the concept of free enterprise and capitalism, an economic system, in which all property run by private personalities in order to allow creativity to shape the structure and give dimensions to the establishment, instead of businesses that are operated by government. This audio file was created by Panopreter Basic. You can download it at www.panopreter.com, which could limit the deployment of an idea. Pan 2, the dancing floor. Sabrina continues to sing Celia Cruz Las Campancara de Belé. People continue to dance salsa. Back to Diana and Pedro. She takes a sip. Puts down her glass. Diana, do you feel the sense of accomplishment, being one the youngest governor in history of Florida at the age of 35, and the possibility of becoming the next president of Cuba? He smiles at her charismatically. Pedro, rather than a sense of accomplishment, I feel a sense of responsibility. Whether I am the governor of Florida or the possibility of being the next president of Cuba, or age 35, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure those, who believe in me, live in freedom and prosperity. She gives him a seductive look and stops her record. Diana, what about dance? I heard that you're a pretty good dancer. He smiles softly and gives her his hand. She takes his hand. They get up, and come to the open floor. Diana and Pedro begin to dance salsa. He's very good. She's natural. She then. Diana, tell me your secret, how do you make a girl trust you so easily? He smiles softly. Pedro, I look at her eyes and think of romance and a million ways to make her happy. She smiles in beauty. They continue to dance. We see two of Pedro's bodyguards, Raul and Sanchez, standing by the dance floor. They are making sure that Pedro is safe. EXT Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. Two guards stand at the door grating. Out of nowhere comes a black Chevrolet convertible carrying three men. Salvador is behind the wheel, Pablo is in the passenger seat, and Diego is in the back seat. They pull their vehicle in front of the door. Pablo and Diego jump out of the car with automatic guns that have silencers and shoot the guards. The guards go down dead. Int. Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. Close up, Pedro and Diana. They continue to dance. Then at the entrance, Pablo and Diego enter the club with machine guns and begin to fire at the people, killing customers who happen to be enjoying their outings. Pedro quickly grabs Diana, and hits the floor, shelling her from hell of bullets. Meanwhile, Raul and Sanchez come to Pedro firing at Pablo and Diego and making sure that Pedro come out unharmed. At the other side, two of Pedro's bodyguard, Ernesto and Agustin return the fire at Pablo and Diego who is shooting like maniacs. Pablo shoots Ernesto. Ernesto goes down. Then, after few shootouts, Pablo and Diego retreat toward the exit while firing. EXT Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. Pablo and Diego. They exit the club, run to their car, and get in the vehicle. The car drives away. Int. Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. Pedro gets up with Diana in the middle of the chaos. Raul and Sanchez come to Pedro, and take him away. In the meantime, Pedro looks at Agustin, who is standing with his gun in the middle of the confusion. Pedro, to Agustin, get the girl. Agustin nods sure and comes to Diana. Agustin, it's not safe. You come with me. He takes her. Int. Roxy Strip Club, night. On the stage, Annie strips, dancing exotic with Paula Abdul Rush. Tyler, who is sitting at the bar with a glass of whiskey, watches her while talking to Lean. At the other end, Alfred, sitting at the table with a glass of beer, watches Annie obsessively. Close up, Annie. She does a spin on the pole. Annie then looks at Alfred, turns her eyes, and looks at Tyler while searching for Tristan. We stay with Annie for a little while as she continues to dance exotic with Paula Abdul Rush. EXT Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. We see several people, reporters, police officers, and ambulance in chaos. In the middle of the pandemonium, Rita comes through the crowd, flashes her badge at two police officers who are guarding the door. Int. Martinez Restaurant and Club, night. Rita enters in ease. We see Miami PD and forensic team, Matt, Jessica, Ted, Kenny, and medics and forensic team working on the shooting that left few dead and couples of injuries. Rita comes to Matt. Rita, what you got? Matt, we got 6 deaths, and 5 injuries. 2 in critical conditions. Rita, any suspect? Matt, none. But witnesses said 2 Hispanic men came through the entrance with machine guns, and opened fires. She walks to one of the victims who is covered with a white sheet. She uncovers the body. It's a female victim. She looks at her and covers it back. On the soundtrack, Escape by Enrique Iglesias plays melodiously. Int. Salas's Club, night. It's one of the biggest clubs in the city of Miami. We see people dancing as if there were no tomorrow. It is lascivious, steamy, and provoking. Marcelo Salas Figo, also known as Salas, 42, sits on the sofa between 2 beautiful Latinos girls, Silvana and Julissa at the VIP, doing cocaine, smoking weeds, and drinking various alcoholic beverage. Salas cuts the cocaine, snores a line, then passes the cocaine to Silvana, turns to Julissa, and kisses her French. Then out of nowhere comes one of the shooters, Pablo. He walks behind Salas and whispers something by his ear. Salas parts his lips from Julissa. Pablo tells him more. Salas nods sure. Pablo walks away. Salas grabs a bottle of scotch, pours the liquor in his glass, and takes a sip. Int. Pedro's office, night. Pedro takes a sip from his scotch as well while talking to his brother, Desi Martina, on the cell phone. He puts his glasses down. Pedro, calmly on the phone, I'm okay. Don't do anything stupid. I'll talk to Salas myself. Just tell me what's new. Int. Pedro's office, night. /ext heaven, Desi's villa, night. Desi Martina, 40, standing by a swimming pool, talks to Pedro on the phone. Note, we intercut both sides of the conversation. Desi, I talked to the former defense minister Oscar Armas and General Abel Garcia. They both said no force would be necessary. It's all business. Pedro, it's good. Desi, I'll just promise them some nice villa down in South Beach and a couple of millions that will last them for a lifetime. We are dealing with a couple of bureaucrats. Eddie Rodriguez enters at the office. Pedro, on the phone, okay, I'll talk to you when you get back to Miami. I have to go. Desi, I'll call you. Pedro, bye. Pedro hangs up and looks at Eddie. Pedro, what did you find out? Eddie, they're Salas's people. Mario followed them. He said they dropped the car at 4th Street open lot, and went to Salas's club with a jeep. Pedro, it's okay. I don't want any kind of retaliation. Just set up a meeting. Eddie nods okay. Pedro, where's the girl? Eddie, she's waiting at the guest room. Pedro, take her home. Tell her I'll talk to her some other time. Sorry about the incident. Eddie nods sure and steps out. Pedro grabs his scotch and drinks it in one breath. EXT strip club, night. Annie exits the club, looks at right and left, crosses the street, and begins to walk toward her car. Street, Annie. She continues to walk toward her car alone. It's kind of scary. Annie comes up to her car and opens the door. EXT/int. Annie's convertible, night. Out nowhere comes Alfred and forces her behind into the car. Annie screams like a little girl. Alfred takes out his knife and holds it on her face. Alfred, shut the fuck up, or I cut your face, bitch. She gets silent. He bends her. Alfred, be good girl. I am not going to hurt you. He rips her pant off with his knife, and opens his pant to rape her. When he's about to rape her, Alfred hears a whistle. As he turns, Tristan shoots him in the head. His brain got splatter on the car. Alfred falls on Annie. Tristan pulls Alfred off Annie and drops him on the ground. At the same time, Annie takes out her gun, and fires at Tristan in panic. The bullet hits Tristan on the side of his abdomen slightly. Tristan holds his side and takes a step back. Annie comes out of the car, crying, points the gun at Albert and Tristan in confusion. Tristan, holding his bloody side, it's okay. I got everything under control. Annie, who is shaking like a girl who just spent few days Antarctica, points the gun at Alfred. Tristan, give me the gun. He's dead. He slowly takes the gun from her hand. She cuddles him. He hugs her. She cries on his shoulder. Int. Annie's apartment, kitchen, night. Tristan, nursing his wound with his shirt, sits at the dinner table half nude. On the soundtrack, Red Light Special by TLC plays melodiously. Then Annie comes to the kitchen with first aid, alcohol, needle, sticks, cotton, and adhesive bandage. She is wearing a proactive red Victoria's Secret nightgown. Tristan is taken by her sense of sensuality, style, eroticism, and beauty. Annie, is it bad? Tristan, I'm fine. He removes the shirt from his wound and shows her the cut. Annie, I'm sorry. Tristan, it's okay, only flesh wound. It barely touched me. She puts the bandage on the table. Annie, give me that. Annie takes his shirt and throws it on the kitchen table. She places alcohol on the cotton, cleans his wound, stitch it up, and places the bandage. On the soundtracks, El Amor by Julio Iglesias comes replacing TLC's Red Light Special. Tristan and Annie gaze at each other eyes tenderly. He holds her arms, pulls her closer and places her on his lap. She throws her arms around his neck. They kiss intimately. He places his hand on her butt and squeezes it. They kiss French. He then picks her up and takes her to the bedroom, joining lips to lips. Int. Annie's apartment, bedroom, night. Tristan and Annie make love with series cuts. It's seductive, sensual, beautiful, and passionate. Bedroom, later. The bed sheets are stained with Tristan's blood. Tristan, covered with a blanket below his waists, sit on the bed. Annie, who is naked, is in the middle of placing a new bandage on Tristan's wound. Annie, placing the bandage, what do you do? Tristan, I am independent communication consultant. Annie, what's that? Trista, I write programs that help business manage data. There is a pause. She puts the last touch on the wound, placing the bandage. Annie, why do I feel like I've known you my whole life? Tristan, softly, I don't know. I feel the same too. He kisses her. They kiss more intimately and begin to make more love. Flashback. EXT Roxy Strip Club, back alley, night. Tristan walks in the back alley heading toward Roxy. Then, out of nowhere comes a black limousine behind Tristan, passes him, and stops in the middle of the street. Tristan stops walking, and looks at the limo. EXT limousine, night. From the driver's seat, a bodyguard named Elvis gets out the limo, walks around, and opens the back door. Tyler steps out of the limo, looks at Tristan, takes out a cigarette, lights it, and takes a drag. Tyler, exhaling the smoke, what's up, Tristan? Tristan doesn't respond. Tyler, come on. Get in the car. I want you to meet a good friend of mine. Tristan thinks twice. Elvis takes out his gun. Tyler, to Elvis, put that away. It's not necessity. To Tristan. Get in the car. I've known you since we were 8th grades. If I want to kill you, I would have killed you and your girlfriend at the strip club. Tristan gets the point, doesn't want anything to happen to Annie. He walks toward the limo. Tyler, let's talk business. Tristan sees someone with sexy legs inside the limo. Int. Limousine, night. A seductive woman, Laura Jones, 35, sits with a glass of champagne. Tristan steps in and sits in front of her. Tyler gets in as well and closes the door. Tyler, this is Tristan. Laura, hi. I am Laura Jones. She gives him her hand to shake. Tristan takes her hand. Tristan, Chris Ryder. They shake hands greeting. Laura, pleased to meet you. Tristan, pleasure. Laura, drink. Tristan, no thanks. Laura, Chris Ryder, is that your real name? Tristan, why did you ask? Laura, it sounds cool. Tyler, we used to call him Einstein. He can mastermind anything less than a minute. Laura, is that right? Tristan, what do you want? Laura, I heard you can turn water into wine. Tristan, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm only a businessman who can't tell the difference between check and money order. Laura, what do you do? Tristan, I design web page. Laura, Elvis drives us around. Elvis starts the car, and begins to drive down the street. Laura closes the window that divided the back seats and the driver's seats to keep things in private. Laura, you seem romantic, but I have seen those racy eyes somewhere. They're very enticing. Tristan, thanks. I can see things clearly with them. She smiles softly. Tyler, accept America's Most Wanted. Just think about it, Tristan. If we tell them who you are, where you stay, do you know they'll give us a handsome reward? Laura, don't listen to him. That's not how I do business. Tyler and Laura kiss. Laura, give me that document. Tyler gives her a document. Laura, to Tristan, I know you went by the name Tristan Lewis, Bruce Berry, and Luke Johns aka Black Magic, a professional hacker. You're in CIA blacklist for hacking CIA database, including several bank accounts in Argentina and South Africa. Plus, you were one of the major players behind 24.8 billion piracy business and two major DVD company in Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo before the government of Brazil froze your bank account and seized everything you own. Tristan, who gave you that idea? Laura, CIA. We have been following you ever since you hacked our database 6 years ago and stole top CIA file that has a list of Novice Ordo Seclorum's members, a secret society that finance a new international terrorist front, who calls themselves the messengers of God to institute a new world order around the world. And you hacked it for your amazement. And we were behind most of your illegal operations without your knowledge in South Africa, Argentina, and Brazil for our fascination to leave things on an even keel. There is a pause, she takes a sip. There is a major conflict in our division. One side is focusing on bringing the world together. On the other hand, we're working on the future of Cuba to establish democracy in the Greater Antilles. The car stops moving. We believe you are the best hacker in the world. And I need you to do me a small favor. Tyler, here, look at these. Tyler gives him a file. Pictures of Annie dancing. Laura, don't mind him. It's always good to solve problem directly. To Tyler. Give him the other envelope. Tyler gives him a different envelope that has full of caches. Tristan takes the envelope and looks at it. Laura, I tell you what I want you to do when I see you next time. Have fun with that. On the soundtrack, music plays melodiously. EXT limo, night. Tristan gets out of the limo in ease. The limo drives away. EXT Miami Zoo, day. Tristan, Annie, and Matilda are in Zoo of Miami. On the soundtrack, Maggie by Rod Stewart plays melodiously. Tristan, carrying Matilda over his neck, and Annie watch lions and other wild animals. They are spending quality time together. We stay with them with a couple of cuts. Int. Shopping mall, Versace, day. On the soundtrack, Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield comes replacing Maggie. Tristan, Annie, and Matilda step in. Annie sees a beautiful red gown, walks toward the dress, and shows it to Tristan. Tristan approaches Annie, holding Matilda's hand, and looks at the dress. Annie wants to try it out. Versace, later. Close up, Annie. She comes out of the dressing room, wearing the gown. She looks beautiful. Tristan and Matilda wow. Tristan removes his sunglasses and look at her in astonishment. Annie, what do you think? Tristan, it's beautiful. She comes up to him and throws her arms around his neck. They kiss French. Montage, Versace. Annie comes out of the dressing room with different outfits and shows her dresses to Tristan and Matilda, while dancing with Son of a Preacher Man in series cuts. Close up, Annie. She comes out with black gown. Tristan loves the dress, holding Matilda's arms as she falls off balance playfully. Cut to. Annie comes out the dressing room wearing a blue gown. Tristan and Matilda like it. Cut to. Annie comes out of the dressing room, wearing purple gown. Tristan and Matilda look at Annie smiling with admiration. Cut to. Annie comes out of the dressing room, wearing a jeans. Tristan and Matilda love it. Cut to. Annie comes out with a red mini-skirt. Tristan couldn't believe how beautiful she looks. Annie walks to Tristan. They kiss French. EXT beach, picnic, day. On the soundtrack, La Isla Bonita by Madonna plays melodiously. Tristan rests his head on Annie's thigh while playing with Matilda. Annie caresses his hair with romance, having a picnic. Beach, later. Annie and Tristan play soccer with Matilda on the shore. Matilda kicks the ball to Tristan like Marta from Brazil. Tristan kicks the ball to Annie effortlessly. Annie kicks the ball to Matilda. Cut to. Tristan dribbles both Annie and Matilda come to the goal, passes the ball to Matilda, she scores. He carries her, and runs shouting goal. Cut to. Tristan chases Annie. Matilda watches. Tristan catches Annie. They fall in the water. They laugh joyously and kiss. Cut to. We see Annie, Matilda, and Tristan swimming in the ocean. Beach, sunset. Tristan and Annie. They kiss French in the middle of the water. On the soundtrack, Bad Romance by Lady Gaga plays melodiously. Int. Restaurant, night. Annie and Tristan sit at the table with glasses of wine. They talk without a sound. He then gives her his hand. She takes his hand. They get up and come to the open floor and dance slow. They talk between soft kisses. He says something humorous. She smiles in beauty. They kiss intimately. Int. Bedroom, night. Tristan and Annie make love. It is steamy, seductive, and passionate. We stay with them with series cuts. EXT resort, bathtub, night. We see sparkling stars, bright moon, and clear sky. Tristan and Annie sit in the bathtub outside. He is behind. Annie rests on his chest. He recites, "If You Forget Me" by Pablo Neruda by her neck. Tristan, softly down by her neck, "I want you to know one thing. You know how this is. If I look at the crystal moon, at the red branch of the slow autumn at my window. If I touch near the fire, the impalpable ash, or the wrinkled body of the log, everything carries me to you. As if everything that exists, aromas, light, metals, were little boats that sail toward those isles of yours that wait for me. Well, now, if little by little you stop loving me, I shall stop loving you little by little. If suddenly you forget me, do not look for me, for I shall already have forgotten you. If you think it long and mad, the wind of banners that passes through my life, and you decide to leave me at the shore of the heart where I have roots, remember that on that day, at that hour, I shall lift my arms, and my roots will set off to seek another land. But if each day, each hour, you feel that you are destined for me, with implacable sweetness, if each day a flower climbs up to your lips to seek me, on my love, on my own, in me all that fire is repeated. In me nothing is extinguished or forgotten. My love feeds on your love, beloved. And as long as you live it will be in your arms, without leaving mine." She smiles in beauty. He kisses her on the shoulder. There is a pause. Annie then. "Annie, I wish sometimes it's easy to forgive the person that you love. If you just let things go, and allow your soul seek happiness, you'll find true love." He says nothing. There is a long pause. "Annie, I know it's you, Tristan. Tristan, I've always loved you." They kiss French. Int. Pedro's cruise boat, ballroom, night. Fundraising party. A slogan, "Te amo Cuba." A big party is in progress. Salsa music plays. Matt in tuxedo and Rita in light blue gown, working undercover, dance while conversing. Matt, "I heard few days ago SWAT and Seth kill bunch of Colombian drug dealers at Hilton Hotel." Rita, "We have to keep our eyes open on SWAT. Seth has a big ambition. He is trying to fish out both Pedro and Salas and take over the drug circulation here in the Magic City." Matt, "The entire system is corrupted." Rita, "Corruption is nothing but a disease that endures the use of a position of trust for false gain." Matt, "I couldn't agree more." Rita, "We have to take action before things get out of control." Matt, "It seems that's the only solution we have at the moment." Rita, "Anyway, I thought I got this also figured out. It's harder than I thought." He smiles softly. Matt, "You're okay." Rita, under her breath, "Right." There is a pause. Matt, "You can always take a comfort with the fact there is nothing can go wrong if you believe in yourself." This audio file was created by Panopreter Basic. You can download it at www.panopreter.com. Rita, "What that means?" Matt, softly, "You look beautiful. Just be yourself." She smiles softly. Close up, Pedro. He dances with a very pretty girl, Amanda Chavez, 22. Pedro glances at Rita. She looks at him with seduction, but quickly takes her eyes away from Pedro, and focuses on the dance. Pedro smiles softly, turns his eyes, and looks at Amanda tenderly. Pedro, "Has anyone told you that you look a tulip?" Amanda, "What is tulip?" Pedro, "It is alluring love." Amanda, "Tell me about it." She gets closer to his lips. Pedro, "A teardrop in the sun." She smiles in beauty. They kiss as they continue to dance. Close up, Matt and Rita. They continue to dance. Rita, "He seems a nice guy." Matt, "He's a gentleman but doesn't care if you're a single or a married woman. If he finds you attractive, he would come after you." Rita, "I heard he is a womanizer. He might take me for granted." Matt, "I doubt it. Even the gods in heavens can't resist you, the way you look tonight." They kiss. Pedro watches them. Rita catches his eyes while kissing Matt. She parts her lips. Pedro gives her a soft charismatic smile. Rita turns her eyes and continues to dance with Matt. Close up, Pedro and Amanda. Pedro, to Amanda, "I'll have to cancel dinner tomorrow. I won't be around for a few days." Amanda, "Where are you going?" Pedro, softly, "I will be out of town. I have to take care of some business." Amanda, "What business?" Pedro, "A meeting that I must attend." Amanda, "It's not fair." Pedro, "I'll make it up to you." He gives her a soft kiss on the top of her lips as they continue to dance. Int. Pedro's cruise, Pedro's speech, night. Pedro gives speech to the gathered crowd. Rita and Matt watch. Pedro, my fellow Caribbean, Cubans, Cuban Americans, friends and family. We're here gathering to make history, to transform Cuba into the greatest nation in the solar system. And it's my privilege to announce that I put myself in a position to lead my beloved country into a new democratic republic of Cuba. Free and equal participation by all and liberal administration that extend democracy. However, the main focus remains in education, building schools and universities that will eventually produce the top-notch scholars and scientists who will get to the bottom of these global healthcare. And to establish programs that send young men and women into space and to explore the universe, till we show the beauty of Cuba without compromising our culture and family values. And making Cuba the future, the destination for those who believe in freedom and prosperity. Thank you very much. The guests give him a round of applause. Close up, Salas. Out of nowhere comes Salas and walks into the party with his 4 bodyguards at the entrance. Close up, Pedro. He looks at him. Pedro then gives Eddie, who is standing close by, a nod. Eddie gives the guards, 2 Secret Services men, at the door a sign, it's okay. Let them in. They let them in. Salas walk toward the crowd and stand at the back. Close up, Rita and Matt. Rita sees Salas entering and standing at the back. Rita, I didn't know he invited Salas. Matt looks at Salas. Rita, he wasn't in the invitation list. Matt, not so surprised, there was a rumor that he might check in. Rita, how come nobody informed me then? Matt, I was supposed to tell you but didn't want to give you a wrong idea without confirming the source. Rita, what is the source? Matt, CIA. We see the crowd shaking Pedro's hand one at a time and having few words with him like the President of USA. Matt, we have to be careful. They are everywhere. They are the one who set up the meeting. If they find out that you're trying to tie CIA and all the drugs flow in Miami with Pedro. They might do, you know. Rita, what, kill me? Matt, just to let you know. Every person in here who sees you directly in the eyes is a CIA. There is a big interest that Pedro can bring to the US. And CIA has been devouring after Cuba ever since the Kennedy administration, which some believed it led to the assassination of Kennedy by CIA. Rita, we have to gather information, build a case against the CIA, and take the system out for good. Matt, nobody ever truly tries to take the entire CIA out or incriminate the system. As far as the senators and Congress in Washington think that CIA is only protecting American interest without chauvinism and prejudice. Rita, is Pedro protecting American interest, or CIA is just using him to get what they want? Matt, if we can get Pedro, we seal the fate of CIA for a while. On the soundtrack, KLE Den Candela by Celia Cruz plays melodiously. Salas approaches Pedro. They greet. Then come Laura and Tyler and walks up to Pedro in ease. Pedro and Laura kiss on the cheeks, greeting. Pedro then shakes Tyler's hand and introduces them with Salas. They all greet. Pedro then turns his eyes and looks at Rita, who is talking with Matt. We stay with crowd for a bit. EXT Pedro cruise boat, night. Close up, Rita. She stands alone watching the ocean with a glass of champagne. She takes a sip. Then out of nowhere comes Pedro behind Rita. Celia Cruz KLE Den Candela plays softly. Pedro, it's a lovely night. Rita, it's breathtaking. He stands next to her, looking at the ocean. Pedro, where's your friend? Rita, he's around, somewhere inside. They stand facing each other. There is a pause. He then. Pedro, you have lovely eyes. Are you Cuban by any chance? Rita, I'm American with Cuban ancestors but I like the slogan by far. Te amo Cuba. Pedro, it's a giveaway. Rita, what's a giveaway? Pedro, marketing America to Cuba, like I love New York. Rita, you do what you have to do, just make sure you do it better than Castro. He smiles softly. Pedro, I like Castro. God bless his soul. He once said, I warn you. I am just beginning. If there is in your hearts a vestige of love for your country, love for humanity, love for justice, listen carefully, my voice will not be stifled, it will rise from the bottom of my heart. History will absolve me. Rita, he's quite charming. He gives her a charismatic smile. Pedro, gives her his hand. Come with me, I want to show you something. She takes his hand. They walk down the boat. Pedro, I'm taking you to the Isla de la Juventud, Cuba. I never took anyone there before. I myself go twice a year. They walk toward the direction of the camera. Int. Boat, Pedro's private helicopter, Pedro and Rita, night. A helicopter is roaring. We see Eddie and 2 of Pedro's bodyguards standing by the helicopter. Pedro and Rita walk up to the helicopter. Pedro, I'll understand if you hate me for what I am about to show you. But I'll explain everything. They get into the helicopter. The door closes. EXT helicopter, night. The helicopter gets up in the air and heads to Isla de la Juventud, Cuba, flying easily 250 miles per hour. On the soundtrack, Celia Cruz KLE Den Candela comes with full volume. Int. Pedro's underground cocaine factory, night. It's an advanced underground cocaine facility. Cocaine is produced by 100 or more employees. Pedro walks in the middle of his factory with Rita, Desi, and few key Cuban officials and delegations. Meanwhile, Desi breaks down the agenda to all. Though we don't hear what he is saying due to KLE Den Candela by Celia Cruz, playing on the soundtrack with full volume. Then the music falls in the background and plays softly. They all stop walking. Close up, Desi. Desi, ladies and gentlemen. This is pure genetic engineer cocaine. Melting point of 290. Fuck sugar. It is the future of Cuba. Rita looks at Pedro. Pedro turns his eyes and catches Rita's eyes. Int. Hotel Havana, restaurant dinner, night. It's a classic restaurant and hotel. Pedro and Rita sit at the table, having seafoods and a bottle of wine while conversing. Pedro, the goal is to take Cuba into first-class nation. We're in the cloud of socialist insomnia. It takes a sold economy to change things around here. Rita, what cocaine got to do with economy? Pedro, it depends how you see it. Cocaine proposes extraordinary potential, and great demand both by USA and the rest of the world with over $100 billion cash flow, to mark Cuba the business center of the world. Rita, it's against the law. Pedro, I know it's against the law, but only separated by water. Look at Miami compared to Havana. Look at Bahamas compared to Pinedale. Rio, Las Tunas, and the rest of our cities. We have to get our act together, put things in perspective, and move forward, or live in poverty. It is a calculated risk. Rita, what about CIA? Pedro, what about CIA? Rita, who's in charge behind your operation? Pedro, it's not a secret that USA is behind me in exchange of large reserves of oil that were found in the North Cuba Basin and other strategic part of Cuba, but if you're interested that CIA is structuring the system around my agenda or I'm CIA myself. That's confidential. Rita, are you? Pedro, CIA. She nods yes. Pedro, they can't offer me. Rita, so, why did you bring me here with you? Pedro, that's a good question. Honest, I don't know. But the second I saw you, I wanted you for myself. All these global warming, politic, cocaine, environment, won't mean anything if I just spend the night counting the stars in your beautiful eyes. On the soundtrack, Hazma Sentir by Maria Conchita Alonso plays melodiously. Int. Pedro's condo, night. Pedro and Rita make love with series cuts. It is sensual, alluring, and passionate. Int. Miami, coffee shop, day. Tyler sits at a table with a coffee. It's the same coffee shop that we saw them at the beginning of the movie. On the soundtrack, She Wolf by Shakira plays melodiously. A waitress named Valeria comes to the table and refills his coffee. He gives her a compliment. She gives him a sweet smile and walks away. He takes a sip, and looks at his watch. It's time. Then Tristan steps into the coffee shop, comes to the table, and sits in front of Tyler. Tyler says something, and pushes his coffee in front of Tristan. Tristan takes a sip and pushes the cup back to Tyler. Tyler takes a sip, says something, gets up, takes out few bucks from his pocket, and throws the money on the table as Tristan gets up. They walk toward the exit. EXT Laura's mansion, jacuzzi, day. Laura is in the jacuzzi in her multimillion-dollar mansion with a glass of whiskey. Two of her bodyguards, Smith and Jacob, stand nearby. Then Tristan comes escorted by Tyler. She gives a sign to her bodyguards to leave her alone. They walk away. She gives Tyler a sign to leave her alone as well. Tyler nods and walks away, leaving Tristan and Laura on the screen. Laura, would you care to join me? Tristan, I'm fine. Laura, okay, have a seat. He sits on a chair that happens to be there for sole purpose of the meeting, and puts his right foot over his knee, sitting with style. She gets up and sits on the edge of the jacuzzi in a seductive manner, holding her left shin. Laura, what I am about to tell you is confidential. Takes a sip from her whiskey. I want you to hack DNI saving account, $25 billion that are budgeted to bomb the Middle East before the US pull their troops from Afghanistan. And in return, we'll give you a new identity, a new bank account with $5 billion and relocate you to Spain with your girlfriend and daughter. Take it or leave it. Note, if it's inconvenient, we will create a fictional country and move on. Int. Resort, tennis court, day. Pedro and Rita are in the middle of playing ground tennis. They hit the ball back and forth. Rita, voiceover I lost my fiancés 5 years ago. He was an FBI agent, working undercover to build case against a corrupted CIA agent and a hacker named Tristan Lewis. But his cover got exposed. They killed him. Even though, we got one of the killers, a CIA agent named Tyler, in custody. We got no conviction due to a lack of evidence. Tennis court fence, later. Rita stands against the fence. Pedro is in front of Rita with his hand on the fence. Rita, but since then things have changed a lot. We got enough evidence to wash down the whole Central Intelligence Agency into the swamp. It's a matter of time. Pedro, you're missing the bigger picture. The Bureau wants to bring CIA under their new agenda. International affair which CIA has to report every mission that they'll have to carry out to the Bureau. Plus, their $50 billion annual budget straight into FBI's bank account till senators in Washington figure out the role of their latest structure, the order. They want to lead USA toward the New World Order. Rita, come again. Pedro, just imagine if the United States wanted to end the war against drug. The war in terror, the war over nuclear confrontation, they wouldn't take them a week to wipe out all the drug dealers and every terrorist from the face of the earth. Rita, what do you mean? Pedro, It's like chaos theory. A system can become more order when the system is acted on by a force more ordered than the system itself. Rita, I don't get it. Pedro, chaos is a system structured to lead a subject into a hermetic order. They get closer. Rita, it doesn't make sense. Pedro, it's not supposed to. When he is about to kiss her. Rita, I don't really have choice, do I? Pedro, down by her lips. Life is not the choice we make every day but kisses that touch our hearts. They kiss. EXT Sheraton Hotel, sunset. Close up, Annie and Tristan. They are walking toward the hotel while conversing. Annie, I thought about seeing other people. But I knew you would come back someday. Tristan, you must not tell anyone. If authorities found out that I am here, they will arrest me. They stop by the water fountain. I don't want to go to prison and spend the rest of my life behind bars. Annie, your secret is safe with me. They kiss French. She parts her lips. Annie, let me go. They kiss more intimately. Annie, I have to go and pick Matilda up before 5:30 p.m. They cross a street that separates the water fountain and the hotel. Annie gives the next taxi a sign. Annie and Tristan kiss. The taxi pulls next to her. Annie, don't be late. Tristan, I promise I won't be late. Annie, see you. Tristan, see you. She gets into the taxi and closes the door. The taxi drives away. A black Ford, parked across the street, follows the taxi. Close up, Tristan. He walks toward the hotel. Int. Sheraton Hotel, lobby, sunset. Tristan steps into the hotel and walks toward the elevator. Out of nowhere Rita comes to Tristan. Rita, Chris Ryder. He stops and looks at her. Rita, hi, I'm Detective Diaz. Takes out her badge and shows it to him. I would like to ask you a few questions about a man named Alfred. We found your passport at the crime scene few days ago. Tristan says nothing. Rita, we need to talk. Int. Sheraton Hotel, restaurant, night. Rita and Tristan sit at a table and converse. Tristan, usually, when you lose your passport, they give you a new passport. Rita, we checked your record. Your passport says you're out of status. Tristan, you can recheck it again. I just got a call from the embassy the other day. They told me they renewed it. The waiter comes to the table with a bottle of wine and glasses, pours the wine in the glasses, and walks away. She looks at the mark between Tristan's eyes, takes the glass, and has a sip. Rita, do you by any chance know a man named Tristan Lewis? Tristan, no, I don't. There is a pause. She looks straight through his eyes. Rita, let me refresh your mind. 5 years ago, you and your friends decided to rob a bank, but you guys found out that there was an undercover agent named Franklin Payton working for FBI. He was found shot in the head. You left the country. FBI caught your friend. He said you're the one who pulled the trigger. He's just CIA, working undercover to build case against you. We questioned him. He told us that you're a major hacker. And we know that you just returned to the state with South Africa passport and a new plastic surgery to see your girlfriend and your 4-year daughter. She places pictures of Annie and Tristan at the restaurant kissing, drinking, and dancing, and other pictures taken at various places. Tristan looks at the picture. Tristan, I don't know what you're talking about. I tend to be romantic. If you find that appealing, you can talk to my lawyer at the embassy. He'll give you so many false accusation lawsuits. You'll be the next tourist attraction in Alaska. There is a pause. She doesn't say anything. He takes a sip, put down his glass, and gets up. Tristan, if you're not arresting me, I have to be somewhere. Rita, go ahead. It's only speculation. He nods sure. Tristan, good night. Rita, take care. He walks away. She grabs her wine. Rita, through electron chips between her breasts, let him go. I might need him. EXT Tristan's hotel, night. Kenny and Jessica stand at the door disguised as tourists. Kenny, Roger. Int. Sheraton Hotel, Rita, night. She takes a sip, puts her glass, looks at the pictures, takes his wine glass, pours his wine on her glass, and places the glass in a plastic bag to run his fingerprint. Int. Matilda's school, night. It's a talent show for kids under the age of 8. On the stage, a 7-year-old kid named Matthew Dunn sings Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Matthew, she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said don't mind, but what do you mean, I am the one. Who will dance on the floor in the round? She said I am the one, who will dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean, as she caused a scene. Then every head turned with eyes that dreamed of being the one. Who will dance on the floor in the round? Int. Matilda's school, backstage, night. Annie and Matilda. On the backstage, we see Annie and Matilda getting ready for the show as a couple of kids and their parents make preparation for the event in the background. Matilda, where's Daddy, Mammy? Annie, he'll be here any minute. Matilda, I want to see him. Int. School, stage, night. Close up, little Matthew. Matthew, dancing like Michael. People always told me be careful of what you do. And don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me be careful of who you love. And be careful of what you do cause the lie becomes the truth. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son, she says. I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Matthew then finishes singing. The audiences clap. Int. Matilda's school, backstage, night. Annie and Matilda. Annie buttons Matilda's shirt. Mrs. Josephine Tyson, 35, comes from the stage. Josephine, to Annie, she's next. Annie, she'll be out in a minute. Josephine returns to the stage, leaving Annie and Matilda on the screen. Annie, to Matilda, give me a kiss. Matilda kisses her on the cheek. Annie kisses her back and hugs her affectionately. They break the hug. Matilda, Daddy said he would bring me a teddy bear. Annie, he's in his way. Go. They are waiting for you. Annie kisses her on the cheek again. Annie, I love you. Matilda, I love you too. Matilda walks towards the camera. Int. School, stage, night. Close up, Matilda. She stands on the stage silently. Everybody looks at her. She doesn't say anything. Annie looks at her. Close up, Matilda. She then takes glances at her mother and sees Tristan standing behind Annie. Matilda opens with big smile and runs to her father. Tristan quickly kisses Annie on the cheek as Matilda approaches him. Father and daughter cuddle. Tristan kisses her on the cheek. Out of nowhere a teddy bear appears on Tristan's hand like magic. Matilda wows in surprise. He gives her the teddy bear. They cuddle more, he kisses her on the cheek again. Int. School, stage, night. Close up, Matilda. She begins to sing Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You. Matilda, if I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. Tristan and Annie look at Matilda with amazement. Matilda, and I, will always love you, oh. Will always love you. You my darling, you. Bittersweet memories. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. Tristan and Annie continue to watch her mesmerized. Matilda, and I, will always love you. I, will always love you. You, oh. I hope life treats you kind. And I hope you have all you've dreamed of. And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this I wish you love. And I, will always love you. Matilda sings a little bit more and then finishes singing. The audiences give her a round of applause. Tristan couldn't believe how good she is. He claps his hands in astonishment, so does Annie. Matilda runs to her mother. Annie cuddles and kisses her on the lips. Annie, that's wonderful. Matilda turns to Tristan. He carries her and kisses her on the cheek. Tristan, that's beautiful. He holds Annie by the waist and kisses her on the lips. On the soundtrack, Love Stone by Justin Timberlake plays melodiously. Int. Miami PD, sis room, night. Rita is with assist forensic Sophia Spencer, who is checking Tristan's fingerprint on the wine glass. Sophia sprays a chemical on the wine glass and finds a fingerprint. Int. Miami PD, sis room, night. Sophia runs the fingerprint on the computer. Rita stands at Sophia's desk and look at the result. Int. Tristan's hotel, bathroom, night. Tristan, topless above the waist, peels off fake fingerprint from his fingers one at a time and puts them on a tiny box. He then opens the mirror, medicine cabinet, places the box behind the mirror, and grabs a shaving blade and shaving cream. Tristan closes the mirror, applies the shaving cream on his face, and begin to shave. Annie walks in. He looks at her through the mirror, smiles softly, turns around, and faces her. Annie takes the shaving blade from his hand and begin to shave his beard carefully. Tristan holds her hand, takes the shaving blade from her hand, puts it by the faucet, grabs a wet towel, and cleans his face with the towel. Tristan throws the towel away and pulls her hand. They kiss. Annie wraps her arms around his neck. He holds her dearly. Close up, Tristan and Annie. They kiss more intimately. Tristan then carries her out of the bathroom and takes her to the kitchen, kissing. Kitchen, night. Tristan and Annie come to the kitchen, kissing. He puts her on the table. They kiss more intimately. Tristan caresses her neck and opens her shirt. Annie's breasts jump out like fruits at the garden of tenderness and fever. They kiss French and begin to make love. Int. Clothing factory, day. It's a big out-of-business clothing factory. Salas is in the process of selling cocaine. Rita, wearing a fake blonde hair, negotiates with Salas. Kenny, who is holding a briefcase, is with her. Pablo and a scientist named Dr. Oliver Williams is in the middle of extracting cocaine out of milk-like product. We see Salas's troops, about 18 of them, standing everywhere with machine guns. Dr. Oliver Williams show them the final result, pure cocaine. Rita tastes it with her pinky finger and nods to Kenny, it is good. Go ahead. Kenny put the briefcase on the table and opens it, revealing piles of money, dollars. Then out of nowhere Miami PD and DEA comes, drawing their guns. Matt, Ted, Jessica, and DEA Philip Jordan are present as well. Rita takes out her gun, points at Salas. Rita, put your guns down. You're under arrest. Kenny points his gun at Pablo, who is standing with a machine gun. Kenny, drop your fucking gun. Matt, put your guns down. You're all under arrest. Pablo lifts his gun and shoots Kenny on the chest. Rita quickly shoots Pablo between his eyes. Salas's troops begin to fire. They all go at it. Salas runs down the building. The camera stays with Rita. She shoots a goon and goes after Salas, who is running toward the machines. Then two goons come at her, firing. She dives in the air, spins, and shoots both in the chest before she lands on her back. She then turns around and shoots two more goons who are coming after her, shooting. Salas continues to run down by the textile machines. Then the SWAT team comes through the window, breaking the glasses in high fashion. They begin to kill the bad guys with style. A SWAT comes breaking the window and kills two goons. Another SWAT comes through the window and kills three goons. The goons in return kill two Miami police officers, but followed by more killed by Miami PD, DEA, and SWAT. Three SWAT breaks the glass, enter the building, and kills five bad guys like USA commandos. Close up, Rita. She continues to follow Salas, shooting whoever standing in her way. Salas hides behind a tank. Rita slows down, shelling herself behind machines. Salas fires at her. She takes a cover and fires at him. They exchange fires. Rita then comes at the other side. Salas looks at her, and fires at her. Rita dives in the air, spins on the floor, and shoots him between his eyes. Salas goes down dead. EXT Resort, Restaurant, Day. An exclusive resort. Pedro and Diana sit at the table with glasses of wine while having light lunch, vegetable, chicken, and salads, by a lake. Pedro, I want to thank you for not publishing the incident at the club. Diana, sure. Pedro, I'm resigning as the governor of Florida at the end of this month to focus on Cuba. Diana, that will take a lot of pressure out of your mind. But do you think the Socialist Party that has ruled Cuba over 57 years is ready to hold a free election against their belief socialism or death? Pedro, it's a very good question. But I think after so many years of darkness and obscurity, the people of Cuba entitles freedom. Their voice means everything. In the middle of his sentence, his right-hand man, Eddie Rodriguez, approaches him and whispers something by his ear. Pedro nods okay. Pedro, to Diana, I'm sorry, Miss Lopez. I have to take this call. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. She nods sure, smiling softly. He returns her smile politely, gets up, and walks toward the direction of the camera. Int. Resort, Restaurant, Day. There is no one at this hour, except a Hispanic bartender named Antonio. He's behind the bar, cleaning the glasses. Pedro walks in and comes to the bar. Antonio gives him the phone. Pedro listens to the other end without saying a single word. He then hangs up the phone. Pedro, quoting Winston Churchill mockingly, I am ready to meet my maker. Whether my maker is prepared for the great ordeal of meeting me is another matter. Audio Salas. Int. Miami PD Capitol Bosworth's office, Day. Capitol Brad Bosworth, 47, sits behind his desk, talking to Rita, who is standing in front of the captain. Rita, give me few days. I'll get Pedro. He is willing to testify against CIA in front of the Congress in D.C. Brad, you carried out a deadly mission without advising me. Rita, I left the report on the table, sir. I thought you saw it. I wanted to get him before FBI did. Brad, that's beside the point. You weren't supposed to involve with Governor Pedro intimately. You violated our very fundamental code of conduct. Rita, how is that, sir? We're in the middle of drug war. We have to think beyond the perimeter. I did what I thought was necessary. Brad, I'm sorry, Rita. You crossed the line. I have to pull you out from the case. You can't be involved sexually with the suspect. I am suspending you till farther notice. Give me your badge and gun. She takes out her gun and badge and put them on the table. Brad, you're excused. She opens the door. Rita, do you want to know something, Captain? He looks at her, what? Rita, it was a great fuck. I enjoyed it like holiday in Paris. He says nothing. Int. Miami PD, main room, Day. Rita slams the captain's door. Everybody looks at her, including Ted, Matt, and Jessica. Rita, who is upset, walks toward the direction of the camera. Int. McDonald's, Day. We see Annie, Tristan, and Matilda sitting at the table, having lunch, 2 chicken sandwiches, a hamburger, French fries, sodas, a tea, and others. Tristan is making a tiny boat out of a tea bag. He looks at Annie, who is taking a sip from her soda. Annie puts down her soda. Tristan, what do you think about Spain? Annie, what about it? He says nothing. At the other end of the restaurant, we see Tyler and a tough-looking man named Mark, 30, sitting at the table with coffees. They are keeping eyes on Tristan. Close up, Tristan. He looks at them, turns his eyes, makes a tiny boat, and shows the boat to Matilda. Matilda, give me that. Tristan puts it on his water glass. The boat floats in ease. Matilda is happy, looking at the boat that's floating in the glass. Annie smiles sweetly as well. Tristan pushes the glass next to Matilda, who is sweet as a little angel. Matilda takes out the boat from the water and begins to play with it. Tristan, to Annie, I want you to come with me to Barcelona. Annie, what is in Barcelona? Tristan, beautiful weather. Annie, what about Matilda? I don't want her to be left behind. Tristan, I've saved enough money. We will take her to a private school. She will catch up. Annie, she only speaks English. Tristan, she'll learn Spanish. It's easy. To Matilda in Spanish. What's your name? Matilda, in Spanish my name is Matilda Petit. Annie is impressed. Tristan, in Spanish what's your mother name? Matilda, in Spanish my mother name is Annie Petit. They smile in curiosity. Tristan, half Spanish and English, kiss me here. Tristan points on his cheek. She kisses him on the cheek. Tristan kisses her back. Annie couldn't believe what she's seeing. Annie, to Matilda, who taught you to speak Spanish? Matilda, Daddy. Tristan kisses her on the cheek again as tears fill Annie's eyes. He gets up and comes up to Annie. Tristan, take Matilda with you and pack your stuff. I'll catch up with you. We must leave tonight. He sits, crouching, in front of Annie. Tristan, referring to Tyler and Mark, those two gentlemen over there want to have few words with me. Annie, looks at them. Why is that? Are you in some kind of trouble? Tristan, no, I'm not. Just wait for me at the motel. Annie, who are those guys? Tristan, they're nobody. It's business. I'll tell you all about it later. Annie, you're coming, aren't you? Tristan, I promise I'll be there. They got closer and kiss intimately. Matilda looks at them and closes her eyes with her hands playfully, looks at them and smiles in beauty. EXT Annie's convertible car, day. Annie sits behind the wheel. Matilda sits in the passenger seat. Tristan stands outside next to the door, talking to Annie through the window. Tristan, make sure you have everything you need. I'll be there before midnight. Annie, sure. Tristan, I'll see you. Annie, bye. They kiss. At the other side of the street, we see a black Lexus. Tyler is sitting behind the wheel. Mark is next to him. They wait for Tristan. Tristan and Annie part their lips. Tristan, take care. Annie, bye. Tristan, bye. She drives away. Tristan turns, crosses the street, and comes up to the Lexus. Int. Lexus, day. Tristan gets in the back seat. Tyler starts the car and looks at Tristan in the rearview mirror. Tyler, I'm sorry, Tristan. I didn't mean to be sensitive. But I had to pick you up myself ahead of the schedule. Tristan, super cool, it's cool. EXT Lexus, day. The car pulls out, and drives down the street. Two men in a black Mercedes-Benz begin to follow them behind. Int. Lexus, moving, Tyler, Mark, and Tristan, day. There is a silent moment. Mark then. Mark, we got tail behind. Tyler, I saw them. EXT Street, Lexus and Mercedes, moving, day. The Mercedes continues to follow them. Lexus continue to move with steady speed. Int. Lexus, day. Tyler, Mark, and Tristan continue to drive down street. Mark, you can take 95, and lose them. Tyler, what do you say, Tristan? Tristan, let's take them to Sheraton Hotel and have lunch, 4 blocks down. We'll switch car there. Tyler, get your stuff. We're skipping lunch. On the soundtrack, Sex Machine by James Brown plays melodiously. EXT Street, Lexus and Ford, moving, day. The Ford continues to follow them. Lexus continues to move down the street. Int. Parking garage, day. CTS Cadillac. Tristan is in the middle of stealing a red 2015 Cadillac CTS. He takes out a Slim Jim, slims the door, and opens the car. Int. Cadillac, day. Tristan takes out a screwdriver, pops out the butterfly of the ignition, hotwires the car, and drives away. EXT Cadillac, moving, day. The car drives through the garage and moves at the direction of the camera. Int. Cadillac, moving, day. Tristan comes driving through the parking garage, and sees Tyler standing outside and waiting. Int. Parking garage, Cadillac, day. Tristan pulls the car next to Tyler. Int. CTS Cadillac, day. Tyler gets in the car. Tyler, referring to the car, good taste. Tristan, thanks. Tristan steps on the gas and drives away. Int. Parking garage, Cadillac, day. Tristan and Tyler drive towards the camera. Fade to, black. Showtime. Fade in. EXT skyscraper, roof, night. Tristan, Tyler, and Mark. Tristan is preparing a flying jetpack. Tyler and Mark are on the ground with sniper rifles, Barrett M99 Big Shot. On the soundtrack, Night and Day by Al Shore plays melodiously. Skyscraper 2, night. We see 3 securities on top of Skyscraper 2, National Treasury Bank. One more comes from the blind side of the camera and joins the others. Skyscraper 1. Tyler, to Mark, I got 1 and 3. Take 2 and 4. Mark nods sure. Then. Tyler pulls the trigger. Skyscraper 1 and 2. A bullet hits the first security in the neck. At the same time, another bullet hit the second security serviceman in the chest. Tyler and Mark fire more shots, killing all of them in a blink of an eye. Tyler then gets up and helps Tristan, who is getting in the flying jetpack. Tyler, are you good to go? Tristan nods his head yes. Tristan starts the flying jetpack and gets up in the air and floats in the air. Skyscraper 2, National Treasury Bank, night. Tristan comes flying and lands at the roof safely. He takes out his gear, comes to the first guard, takes his ID, and walks at the direction of the camera. EXT Pedro's mansion, bedroom porch, night. Pedro stands outside in a luxurious bedroom porch at his multimillion-dollar mansion with a glass of scotch. Amanda then comes up to the porch, wearing a seductive Victoria's Secret pink gown. Pedro turns and looks at her. They gaze at each other's eyes. He puts his scotch aside and gives her his hand. She takes his hand. They kiss. Pedro, let's get married. Amanda, okay. Humorously. Lucky me. I'll be the first lady of Cuba. Pedro smiles softly. They kiss. On the soundtrack, Albshure's Night and Day play with full volume. Int. Bar, night. Rita is alone, drinking scotch at the bar. She seems lost in her heart. Yet the expression of her face says she doesn't want to be bothered. Then. Matt walks in, comes up to the bar, sits on the stool, next to Rita, and asks the bartender for whiskey. After a few moments of silence, Matt and Rita look at each other. He says something. She smiles softly, takes a sip, and puts down her glass. The bartender puts a glass of whiskey in front of him and walks away. Matt takes his whiskey and cheers Rita. They connect their glasses. She throws everything in her throat in one breath. Int. Bank, air conditioner, night. Tristan is moving down the air conditioning box. He then stops the main computer database room, takes out an advanced screwdriver and opens the air conditioner plate, revealing a supercomputer room with laser security. Supercomputer room, night. Tristan comes down hanging upside like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, and stops in the middle of the air as he gets near to the supercomputer database. He begins to type codes, hacking, upside down. Int. Pedro's mansion, bedroom, night. Pedro and Amanda make love surrounded by candles. It's sensual, seductive, and passionate. Then out of nowhere appears Diana without a drop of cloth and joins them. They have threesome. EXT bar, dance floor, night. Rita and Matt dance slow. They then kiss. Int. Supercomputer room, night. Tristan continues to hack. We stay with him for a bit. EXT ship, SWATs, night. We see the member of Miami SWAT team drinking and partying like there is no tomorrow with their guns. Seth then makes announcement. Seth, here comes the moment that we all been waiting for. Lean and Sydney come to the circle and begin to dance exotic stripping their clothes. SWATs make noise. Then Lean and Sydney kiss French. The Sodders fire their guns at the skies with excitement. Int. National Treasure Bank, desk, corridor, night. On the soundtrack, night and day continue to jam. A shady-looking man sits behind the desk. Two men in tuxedo guard the door where Tristan is hacking. They don't know what is going on inside. Then Derek, chief computer programmer, comes from the corridor with a can of Diet Coke and stands at the door. He will have to finish his soda before he enters the room. Int. Supercomputer room, night. Tristan deciphers another password and gets access to the main page. He types a couple of codes and transfers all $25 billion into different accounts. Then. Tristan begins to pull out with a touch of a button. It pulls him up automatically. Int. National Treasure Bank, corridor, night. Derek finishes his drinks, throws the can in the trash container. The security pass checks his eyes and fingerprints, conforms clear. Blue light. The door opens in ease. Int. National Treasure Bank, supercomputer room, night. Close up, Derek. He comes in, enters the code, sets up the laser alarm off. Close up, Tristan. He pulls out in time. Int. National Treasure Bank, air conditioner, night. Tristan slowly moves down the air conditioner of the camera. Int. Rita's house, bedroom, night. Matt and Rita make love. EXT National Treasure Bank, rooftop, night. Tristan puts on his flying jetpack and flies back. EXT/int. Carlos's convertible, moving, night. Carlos, sitting behind the wheel, Sydney, sitting in the passenger seat, and Lean, who is in the back drive away from the ship. EXT ship, night. The ship explodes. EXT/int. Carlos's convertible, moving, night. Sydney, Lean, and Carlos continue to drive as we see the flame in the background. Int. Pedro mansion, bedroom, night. Amber and Diana rest on Pedro's chest with their eyes closed after sex. On the soundtrack, Sada Your Love Is King plays melodiously. Int. Motel, night. Annie sleeps with Matilda. She then hears something, turns her eyes, and looks at the direction of the door. Tristan opens the door from outside but the chain holds the door. Annie quickly gets up, and opens the door. Annie and Tristan hug and kiss passionately. She wraps her legs around his waist. He closes the door, kissing. The music on the soundtrack falls in the background. Her legs wrapped around his waist. Tristan, we have to go now. Annie, I was waiting for you the whole night. I didn't take a shower. They kiss French. Annie, seductively I feel dirty. I want you to make love to me in the shower. They kiss more intimately. Music plays melodiously. He takes his coat off and carries her to the shower, joining lips to lips. Bathroom. Tristan and Annie come to the shower. Tristan opens the shower. They jump into the shower and kiss with their clothes on. They kiss more intimately, removes each other wet clothes, and begins to make love. We stay with them for a little while. On the soundtrack Milonga Sentimental / Vivo by Julio Iglesias comes replacing Sada Your Love Is King. Int. Rita's house, bedroom, morning. Rita and Matt sleep. She's slumbering on his chest. He is cuddling her next to his heart. She then opens her eyes and looks at him. Simultaneously, he opens his eyes and gives her a kiss on the temple. She then leans forward and kisses him. They kiss more intimately. EXT Laura's mansion, swimming room, morning. Laura sits at the table, working on her laptop, transferring money into different accounts. We see her bodyguards in the background. A maid comes with breakfast coffee, places the food on the table, and walks away. Laura takes a sip and continues to type commands in her laptop. We stay with her for a bit. EXT Pedro mansion, porch, day. Pedro sits at the table, looking at his Swiss account in his laptop. He must like what he sees. He smiles softly. EXT yacht, jacuzzi, day. Annie and Tristan kiss inside a jacuzzi on a multimillion-dollar yacht that is floating in the middle of the sea somewhere in Barcelona. On the soundtrack, Sada's smooth operator plays melodiously. They look at the kids. Pan 2, Matilda. She has a new friend in a small swimming pool, a 3-year-old boy named Mike from Sudan that Tristan and Annie are adopting. Matilda and Mike play with a globe balloon ball. Annie and Tristan look at them and smile softly and get back to kissing. Close up, Tristan and Annie. They kiss more intimately. The end.